Who will John Harbaugh hire as the offensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants? Well, a new name has been thrown into the ring. Breaking news, Adam Schefter reporting after Broncos passing game coordinator and quarterback coach Davis Webb was interviewed this week for the Raiders and Bills head coaching job. He received interview requests for offensive coordinator jobs with the Eagles, the Ravens, and the New York Football Giants. What does this mean for Todd Monken and the Giants? Will the Giants look to hire Davis Webb? We're going to dive into that on today's show. First, though, make sure you are hooked up with our John Harbaugh New York Giants Now by Chat Sports swag. We've got hoodies in white and blue for $44.99 at chatsports.com/NYG hire. At that same exact link, you can get this design in t-shirt form for $29.99. And if you want a shirt and a hoodie, we've got a deal for you. Add both to your cart and you'll save $10. Get both for only $64.99. That's chatsports.com/NYG hire. John Harbaugh, could he be hiring Davis Webb? Well, the news breaks here late at night, but some of the beat reporters are still up. Shout out to Jordan Renan and shout out to my guy Dan Duggan. Renan quote tweeting Schefter's tweet we just showed you and said, Davis Webb told me from the day the Giants drafted him that he was going to get into coaching. His father was a coach. He was essentially a player coach as recently as 2022 for Daniel Jones, a future star in the business. And Dan Duggan just gives it the eyeball emojis. This also coming in from Adam Schefter this morning because, as we know, the New York Giants have reportedly essentially made the offer to Todd Monken for the offensive coordinator position, but they have to wait for if the Browns are going to hire Monken as their head coach because he's still in the running. Or, I don't know, Schefter's been all over the place. But he wrote last night, or I guess in the morning yesterday, he wrote, ESPN NFL Insider said on Pat McAfee's show that the Browns are down to two choices, Schwartz and Shieldhouse. Then fast forward 24 hours, and Adam Schefter said, well, Nate Shieldhouse and Jim Schwartz have been primary focuses of the Browns head coaching search. Todd Monken is still a name square in the mix as well. The team has closely tracked him this entire search. He previously served as the team's offensive coordinator in 2019, knows Cleveland well, and is a prime candidate. Adam Schefter, flip-flop, flip-flop. Monken's in, Monken's out. And now it sounds like Todd Monken is still in. And I think the New York Giants are just trying to cover all of their bases in case the Browns actually do make Todd Monken their head coach. We also know that Davis Webb has reportedly interviewed for the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job. He also interviewed for the Bills, but the Bills have named Joe Brady their head coach. We have heard here at Chat Sports that the Las Vegas Raiders are seriously interested in hiring Davis Webb as their next head coach, and there could be mutual interest. But the Broncos, they heard of that as well, and they made a pretty big move. Let's start with this from Brandon Cristal, BK Denver Sports. Sean Payton was asked what it would be like to play against Davis Webb twice a year in the division if Webb gets the Raiders job. Says, quote, I think it would be a pain in the ass for him. So a little talk in there from Sean Payton about Davis Webb going to the Raiders. But it was more than just talk later in the day. Adam Schefter reporting, Broncos have announced they have parted ways with offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi, wide receiver coach, and their cornerback coach. Why does this matter? Because Davis Webb was the quarterback coach. And now the offensive coordinator position is open for the Denver Broncos. And there are people who cover the Broncos that believe that Sean Payton could give up play calling and hire Davis Webb as their offensive coordinator, which would make this video irrelevant because I'm not sure that Davis Webb would want to leave the Denver Broncos if he's allowed to have full control of the offense and be the offensive coordinator. If that does not happen, though, I am very interested in Davis Webb being the Giants offensive coordinator. Played quarterback in the NFL from 2017 to 2022. He's the Broncos QB coach from 23 to 24 and quarterback/pass game coordinator in 2025. And the Giants have at least requested him for an offensive coordinator interview. We do not know if that interview has gone down. I thought this tweet from Ryan Dunleavy was pretty cool. He wrote, "There's great irony in Davis Webb versus Brian Daboll for the Raiders head coaching job. Webb spent 4 seasons as QB3 and de facto QB coaches under Brian Daboll with the Bills and the Giants. Daboll gave Webb his first chance to start in Week 18 of 2022. A quote from October 15th, 2025. Daboll on Webb. Quote, "He was a pleasure to work with. Incredibly smart. Could see the game the right way. He offered a lot of good insight in those meetings. Someone I have a great deal of respect for, working with him as a player and coach. But now, on the coaching side of it, I'm proud of him. Not a lot of guys just do that and jump right in and become a quarterback coach. He's done a great job with Bo Nix. Davis was one of my favorite guys that I had to work with in my time at Buffalo and here with the Giants. He's doing a great job." Someone then kind of responded to that and said, "What other than vibes and being nice to the media makes you feel Webb is some prodigy?" And Dunleavy said, "Literally dozens and dozens of people I've talked to about him since 2018. And it's not hard to go back and look and find out what Davis Webb did. He had a great connection with Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. He did a really good job with the New York Jets in 2018, reportedly. Him and Josh Allen have a great relationship. Him and Daniel Jones, a lot of people will say he was the reason Daniel Jones had a lot of success in 2022. And we've seen how Bo Nix has translated to the National Football League. Here goes this. Webb with Patrick Mahomes. Webb learned under Cliff Kingsbury from 2013 to 2015. Patrick Mahomes has mentioned how Davis Webb helped him in college as they both played for the Red Raiders from 2014 to 2015. Webb with the Jets. Webb was on the roster with Sam Darnold and Josh McCown. McCown is currently the QB coach for the Vikings, and Todd Bowles was the head coach for the Jets at this point. Webb with Josh Allen was the backup there from 2019, 2021. In 2018, Josh Allen was not good. And look, I want to give credit to Allen. Josh Allen is Josh Allen because of Josh Allen. But there's been help along the way. Allen showed great growth when Webb was in Buffalo, and Josh Allen has talked about that. And we know how important Davis Webb was to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants when he was the third-string quarterback with Big Blue behind Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones. DJ had his best season in 2022, leading the Giants to the playoffs. And coincidence or not, I don't really care. We saw when Webb left the Giants and Jones stayed, Jones was not very good the next year. I say all that to say Davis Webb would be a great hire at the OC spot. Any team in the National Football League that would have to hire a first-time play caller would be lucky to have Davis Webb. And the Giants don't know what the Cleveland Browns are going to do at their head coach spot. Are they going to hire Schwartz? Are they going to hire Shieldhouse? Are they going to hire Todd Monken? The Giants are making sure all of their bases are covered, where if the Browns do hire Todd Monken, they have another opportunity, another pathway to travel, which would be Davis Webb. And I honestly am pretty pumped up about the fact they interviewed him. There's connection to the organization. He's a good coach. He's helped mold quarterbacks. He's played in the NFL. He knows what it's like to work with quarterbacks. And I would love the idea of Jackson Dart learning from Davis Webb, those two guys forming a marriage, and John Harbaugh just saying, Davis, you go control the offense, work with Dart, make sure he's in a good spot to be successful. I'd be fine with Davis Webb. I'd be happy with him. I'd be happy with Todd Monken as well. I'll let you decide. Who do you want as the Giants offensive coordinator? Type T for Todd, type D for Davis. I want to hear from you down in the comments. I still think Todd Monken is going to get the New York Giants offensive coordinator job. I'm not sure that Davis Webb is going to leave the Denver Broncos if they offer him the OC job and full control of the offense. And I don't think that Monken's going to get the job with the Browns. I'd be shocked if they do. And if that does happen, I would expect for the New York Giants to turn the heat up on Davis Webb and try to come and get him to be the offensive coordinator with full control and no Sean Payton breathing down your neck, where if you have 2 bad weeks of game plans, he's going to come in and take the play calling job from you. Again, I'm going to trust John Harbaugh. So people got mad at me because I was upset that they didn't hire Jim Leonard as the DC. I'm still going to have my thoughts and my emotions, but I'm not saying anything negative about Harbaugh. Let John Harbaugh cook. He's got Denard Wilson. He's got Chris Horton as a special teams coordinator. I still think it's going to be Todd Monken, but I like the idea and the process of getting Davis Webb involved in this search. Make sure you are following me on social media. Make sure you're getting your Harbaugh hoodies. Chatsports.com/NYG Hire.